Hey everybody, welcome back and good morning from the River Tyne, just outside of Newcastle. We are in England today. We're not going into Newcastle. The plan is we will walk to the metro station, take a quick ride to Roman ruins, an old Roman fort at the eastern end of Hadrian's Wall and the start of his 73-mile-long defensive fortifications in Britain. And after that, we'll hop back on the metro and take it to Tynemouth, which is a small coastal town at the edge of the river that dumps into the North Sea. Grab something to eat, walk around a little bit, and check it out. Beautiful weather here in the UK, sunny and 60, can't complain. No idea. Alright, made it to Wallsend Station, and appropriately named because we are at the end of Hadrian's Wall. So here we are, coming up to Segedunum Fort. That sign up there says where Rome's great frontier begins. It's about a 3-minute walk from the metro station, so it's pretty convenient. And here we are at Segedunum, at the far end of Hadrian's Wall, the easternmost point of the Roman fortifications in Britain. Alright, we're in the elevator now, heading up to the observation deck. You can see it a little bit. The remains of the fort foundations. And here we are at the observation deck. And you can see pretty well from up here. It's a fully excavated fort with all the foundations clearly visible. Right on the riverside. I was saying this is the very east end of Hadrian's Wall. Pretty cool. So the pocket you see right there, that is the literal end, the very end of Hadrian's Wall, the corner of the fort, and the start/end of the entire defensive fortification system. To the left here, these long 2 ranks of buildings, those were the cavalry barracks. Over here, the nearest plot, the officer housing. Just behind it, in the middle plot, that was the command center, the headquarters, if you will. And in the back, you had the granary for the horses, and behind it, all the way at the far back, that is the hospital.
Aurelius Silvanus, Cincta, Genialis, Liberalis, Goccilis, aveo tabulam de meditibus in castello, ecce, recita. Ante
Aves singulatum numerum absentium et numerum praesentium,
ecce tabula,
recita.
pareo, visiam oleum contra.
So we're on the fort grounds now, on the west side. Got the hospital over to our right. Granary over here to the left. And as you can see, the foundations are completely excavated, which is pretty cool. Hadrian came here in 122 AD. So obviously these ruins are quite old. Here's another section of a different granary. And right here is the main headquarters building, the command post, where the commanding officer would also reside. Commanding officer was, I believe, the only soldier who could bring all of his household goods and his wife with him when he moved to the fort. And right here are the officer housing. These two longer buildings toward the riverside. These are the cavalry barracks. I wonder what these little troughs are. Maybe this sign will tell me. It just says an armored shirt was found in this room. More cavalry barracks over here. The fort is fairly small, but the whole area, all of the areas are used for practical reasons. And I guess it's not a resort stay either. This fort, you're just sitting, waiting, and always on alert. At the edge of the Roman Empire. Pretty crazy. Okay, and the last bit here at the fort, we have the original wall. The end of Hadrian's Wall. Right here. Right on this line. This is the original foundations of the wall, and over to my left right here, that's the reconstructed version of the wall. That's what the wall would have looked like 5 meters high for 73 miles. All down the River Tyne. Up on the reconstructed part now. Interesting little viewpoint. Alright, well, that's gonna do it here at Segedunum Roman Fort, the east end of Hadrian's Wall. We're gonna head back to the metro station now, hop on the train, and head to Tynemouth, the little coastal town. So that was cool. Got to the end, very end of Hadrian's Wall. Alright, see you at the station. Alright, just got off the metro at Tynemouth. Should be a short walk to the seaside. It's about an 8 walk to the coast. So we're gonna head that way and probably grab a bite to eat here soon. Hopefully a couple beers too. It's a beautiful day to sit outside and relax by the ocean. This is a really cool little town. Okay, we just made it to the end of Front Street, and here we are at the edge of town, right near the North Sea. There's Tynemouth Castle and Priory right there. Beautiful day. Alright, we walked down steps from Front Street, and we're gonna check out this place called Riley's Fish Shack. Looks kind of cool. We'll see what they got cooking up today. The Fish Shack was awesome. Got a few more hours left here in Tynemouth. So we're gonna head over to the castle and priory and see what the process is to get in and walk around on the inside, because it looks pretty big from the outside and down on the beach. So we'll see. So the castle and priory is just at the edge of Front Street. So I think I'm gonna head on in and check things out in there. Okay, so we made it through the main gatehouse, and we'll start exploring the grounds. Straight ahead is the main priory area, and more toward the water, just behind the priory, the museum director said that there's a gun battery that was used actively during World War I and World War II. So we'll go check that out as well. So the priory and monastery was built in the early 1500s, but was closed in 1539. And since then, this was used as essentially a harbor defense, river defense rather, defending the mouth of the Tyne. And soldiers were stationed here from the mid-1500s all the way until as recently as 1960. Walking into the front of the priory now. Built in the early 1500s. Okay, so here we are at the coastal gun battery. The priory and castle was garrisoned by a few hundred soldiers during both World Wars. It never suffered a direct naval attack, but it was heavily bombed by the Germans in World War II. These guns here at the battery were rarely fired. However, there is still one remaining, and that's that 6-incher right up there. We'll take a look in a second, but we'll see where this staircase goes. I see an open door. This might lead down to the magazine below the gun. Yeah, this is the magazine. So we're below the gun emplacements right now, and this is where all the shells would have been kept. And whenever the guns above needed to reload or get more shells up there, you'd have some soldiers down here putting the shells on this, call it a hoist, but it's essentially a little artillery shell elevator that goes up to the guns. Load the cartridge in there, assuming pull the lever, and it goes straight up there. That's crazy. That's pretty cool. So these gun emplacements, they had a couple 12-inchers, a couple 6-inch guns, and a few 9.2-inch guns. Yeah, there's more cartridge lifts over here. Oh, that's pretty cool. We'll head back outside and see, go check out actually what do we have over here. Oh, it just looks like more storage area. Yeah, so what it looks like is you place the cartridges and shells here on these pallets, and then for easy movements, you don't have to pick them all the way up. You just slide them through these little doors on the ground. Nice. Okay. Head back outside and up to the actual gun emplacements. So here's where one gun would have been. I wonder, oh, it must be this door. Maybe this is where the cartridges would have come up, or here. No, surely here. Here, because it makes sense. Because this is where the back of the gun would be. So it makes most sense for the cartridges to come up here to load straight into the gun. Probably get a better look. The one that still exists. Officers' quarters. Cattle. Yeah, the cots haven't changed much, to be fair. Yeah, this would definitely make the most sense for where the cartridges would come up here. And there's a 6-inch gun. part of England's coastal defense network that they built in the late 19th century. And looking out from the gun battery, the mouth of the River Tyne and into the North Sea. What an incredible little stop. If you're ever in the area, you have to come to the Tynemouth Priory and Castle. It's absolutely incredible out here. So it looks like we can walk up these grass hills to the outer wall. Wow. What a view of Front Street. That's going to do it at the Priory and Castle, and that will also do it here in Tynemouth. That was a really cool little port town. That's all for now. Thank you guys for coming along, and be sure to stay tuned for some more over the next couple weeks. See you guys.